A very good day to you all. You've clicked on to the Sunday, the 23rd of July edition of Vogan's European Outlook. It's August Outlook Day, and certainly the summer so far, we're of course well past the halfway point now, and it has been a pretty changeable summer in terms of weather. Always leaning that bit cooler, fresher, more unsettled, windier across the north and the western half of the UK. Always that bit drier and sunnier, and therefore warmer across the southern half of the British Isles. It has been a warmer than normal July in the south, but surprisingly, even to me, it has been cooler than normal this July across Scotland and across parts of Northern Ireland as well. Warmer than normal, firmly warmer than normal across France, but up across Scandinavia, extending into west central Russia, it has been a chilly July thus far. So what are we looking at for the month of August? Now, certainly off the CFSV2, it indicates that we're going to continue to see high pressure firmly across the southern tier of Europe here, extending into the UK and Ireland here. So, of course, this is the whole month of August in the means, but notice that we don't really have much in the way of a trough further north. So, we don't have the same indicators potentially as what we had thus far in July, where it has been a lot of low pressure pushing through, bringing spells of wind, rain, and chilly conditions. And of course, we have seen heat surges, but they've been primarily focused over England and Wales. We've had plenty of 30 plus degree days across the south of England, but we've had very short lived surges of heat lifting up into Scotland. So, overall, the 500 millibar geopotential height anomaly for the month of August, according to CFSV2, indicates that we are going to continue to see high pressure dominating the southern half of Europe, while we've got at least neutral upper level conditions across the northern half of Europe here overall. Precipitation wise, for the month of August, it looks as if we are going to see slightly wetter than normal conditions across the northern half of the British Isles and across parts of eastern Ireland. But notice we are still seeing a very dry picture across the southern half of the UK, extending into France and extending across the central portion of Europe. Cooler and therefore wetter across the northeastern half of the continent. So the Baltic states extending into Russia here. It looks as if it's going to be a wet August overall, and that is reflective with the 2 meter temperature anomaly here for the month as well. We are probably going to see a cooler than normal. It's surprising slightly that it's been warmer. It's showing warmer than normal across the far northeast of Europe. But we do have cooler than normal conditions across the Baltic Sea, extending into the north of Poland and the Baltic states as well. Very cool also across the Black Sea, which is quite interesting. But it's indicating, as you would expect, Central Europe, where the high is centered, is going to be warmer and therefore drier than normal overall. Let's have a look at the weeklies, the CFSV2 breakdown week by week here, because this is quite often an interesting indicator. Certainly, the upcoming 7 days are reasonably cool compared to normal. Low pressure, firmly in control. Let's look at quickly the upper heights actually, and you can see what I'm talking about here. So we've got low pressure extending from the Atlantic across the UK and into the near continent. High pressure, stronger than normal across the Azores region here. So we do have a bit of a fight going on, but we've got high pressure up over Scandinavia and over more so over Iceland, but we've also got this high pressure over the Azores extending into Iberia, and then in between we've got a squeeze of low pressure. So notice here as we go into the 8 to 14 day, which is really the first 5 days of August, low pressure is in control. And then you notice here, and this has been something the models have been continuing to show, is high pressure trying to build more and more over the UK as we progress through the month of August. So, do we see a changeable month like we've seen this month so far, or do we start to see more in the way of a more settled summer like pattern holding on rather than these short lived spells of warm summer conditions? That is the big question. and that is going to be something that only time will tell. Precipitation wise, real quick, you can see here that week one, as you would expect with low pressure, wetter than normal conditions, and very wet conditions if you notice over Eastern Europe and across southern Scandinavia, extending into Denmark. We've got some very, very wet weather coming over the next 7 days. Still wetter than normal across much of the UK into the 8 to 14 day, and then, of course, as high pressure tries to build in, conditions start to settle down and dry out here. So I'm optimistic, folks, that at least through August 10th onwards, I'm optimistic that we are going to see some form of more sustained settled weather over the British Isles and over the near continent here. So that is my overall thoughts for summer 2017's final month. Hope you have a great day, and I'll be back in the next few days. Keep checking back on marvgoodweather.com for daily updates. Bye for now.